Mark Rogers TV talking Connecticut football. We're joined by Ben Cantor. He writes for the UConn Blog on SB Nation. The Huskies just finished up spring practice on April 12th. Hey, Ben, how are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing just fine. Looking at this Husky team, they finished up at 3-9. Of course, new head coach Paul Pasqualoni is gone. Bob Diaco coming in from Notre Dame. Look at this football team. Let's start with the offense. And it's been a rough go for the Huskies the last few seasons. This team has won football games with its defense primarily. Three quarterbacks got some playing time last year. You've got a standout wide receiver. You've got 7 starters coming back. So kind of size up the offense for us as we conclude the spring and look forward to August camp.
So for us, it all starts at quarterback, with along with most teams. And we have Casey Cochran, who looks to be going into the summer. He looks like he's going to snag the starting job, as he went 3-1, closing out the year, winning his last 3 games. And he's an accurate passer. He's got a little bit of experience now under his belt. He's a little bit less turnover prone than the other two, who might have a little more natural talent than him, but he looks like he's got a good handle of the offense, and so we should be in good shape with him. But as far as running back goes, we have Lyle Mccombs, who's going to be our starter this year. He's a senior. He's a 5'8", shifty back. His freshman year he went for over 1,000 yards, and then his sophomore and junior year, junior year being his last season, he had 800 yards and now 600 yards. So he's kind of been going downhill, but it looks like hopefully this year he can get it all together. And we're kind of revamping our line after some pretty tumultuous line play. We have 3 starters graduating on the offensive line, which in most situations that seems like an issue, but I think with this situation we needed a change, and with the new coaching staff coming in, it looks like this could provide a little spark, a player to watch, not a little player. He's a big player. Player to watch on the offensive line is Andreas Knapp. He's from Denmark. He's a sophomore. He'll be a sophomore this season. He's 6'8", over 300 pounds. He's transitioned from the D-line to the offensive line this year, and we're looking for a spark, and the coaches have been raving about him, and he could be that guy with some unique physical tools. But yeah. And then on tight end, we have Sean Mcquillan, who he had a pretty productive year until getting hurt and missing the end of last season. We're pretty inexperienced at tight end, but he's shown some really good ability to catch the ball in traffic, and he should be a guy to look out for at that position. And then with wide receiver, we have Jeremy Davis, who's our first 1,000-yard receiver from last season since we've moved to the FBS, and he's got great hands. He's 6'3", really good route runner, not elite speed, but he should be a guy playing on Sundays in 2015. So we look good on that front, and we have some other young talented receivers that have been some highly touted recruits. A few guys like Demir Bradley coming out from he's a true sophomore this year. He was a 4-star recruit from Florida, and so he should make an impact hopefully. And yeah, so our offense with 7 starters coming back, we have the experience to hopefully take it to the next level.
Hey, Ben, let's look at the defense. The Huskies have won a lot of football games in previous seasons, getting to bowl competition. Of course, the one BCS run against Oklahoma in the Fiesta with some very solid defensive play. In particular, I think a lot of college football fans would be surprised how many NFL players have been produced on this defense over the last 5 to 7 to 8 years. Right. Maybe the defensive play wasn't quite as good as what you've seen in the past, but much stronger than the offense last season. Your thoughts about the defense coming into 2014?
Yes, so relative to our recent history, last season was a bit inconsistent, but we're returning most of our guys. We're losing Ewan Smallwood to the NFL, who left early. He should be. You should see him picked around the 3rd or 4th round. And he's got the physical tools to be a very solid linebacker in the NFL. But we have the coaches and the players alike were raving about our D-line coming into after the spring game, and we're losing 3/4 of our starters from last year. But these other guys, we have a convert from fullback this year, Ruben Frank, who had a sack in the spring game, and he's been playing with some serious fire, and he looks like he's going to make an impact. And then at the linebacker position, after losing Smallwood, we still have some good experience there and some talent, which has been something that UConn fans have been a little spoiled about, with some really great elite linebacker play. But Graham Stewart, he's a transfer from Florida, he's a sophomore, he's a junior this year, and he's from Connecticut, so he transferred back home to be closer to his family. He was a bit injury plagued last year, but he's got some serious talent. He's actually scored a touchdown in the last time Florida was in a BCS bowl. He scored their last touchdown off a punt block return for a touchdown, but which is a cool little fact. But for us little UConn, but he's a great player, and he should continue that linebacker legacy at UConn. And then in the secondary, we have Byron Jones leading the way. He's a senior. He's been a 4-year starter. He's should be a team captain this upcoming year, and he's a really solid corner that hopefully can take it to the next level. Along with we had a true freshman start last year, Obi Melifonwu. He's a 6'4" strong safety, which is size you don't see that frequently, and he's fast. He can jump. He can hit hard. He's got all the tools, and he was a great bright spot on our defense last year.
All right, Graham Stewart, Florida. So that must have been in the Sugar Bowl against Louisville a couple years ago that he blocked a punt for the touchdown. Good stuff there.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's kind of a fact of life, Ben, that brand new head coaches take over losing programs. That's why there has to be a new coach. It's almost always the case. About 90% of the time, you're taking over a losing program. In this case, Randy Edsall did a fine job, and I was really amazed at the time that a team that was a non-FBS team or non-Division I program at the time was able to almost instantly win 5-6 games, then get to bowl games, and then get to that BCS game against Oklahoma in the Fiesta, and was pretty solidly a postseason team. Things fell off with Edsall going to Maryland, Pasqualoni coming in, not being able to repeat some success that he had at Syracuse. Now you bring in Bob Diaco from Notre Dame. So it's kind of difficult to tell at this point, but any thoughts about how he's putting his stamp on this program?
Yeah, so we were the fastest program to come from FCS to a BCS bowl game, which was pretty cool. And then Edsall left, and we kind of fell apart with Pasqualoni. Our athletic director left. Pasqualoni was a NFL-minded coach. He was former coach of McNabb at Syracuse, but since then he hadn't been in the college game in a long time, and he just couldn't connect with the players and get them to believe in the system. But with Diaco, he was the assistant coach of the year in 2012 with Notre Dame, and he's a young, high energy coach. He's coming into a program where football is secondary to basketball after winning 2 titles in women's and men's, but he's made a very good relationship with Kevin Ollie and Gino Auriemma. Both have raved about him, and he's funny. His press conferences are captivating, which is always fun, and he's gotten some serious fans in the seats, something that Pasqualoni was not able to do. For our spring game, he tripled the attendance since the year before, which is very cool. And he's reinvigorating a program that lost a lot of fire over the last 3 years, going 5-7, 5-7, and then 3-9 last year. So he's a defensive-minded coach to continue the legacy that we've had at UConn, which is something that we've enjoyed. Watching the defense play has been what we look forward to, and it's been a good time. It's been a good time. We don't have the fun option offenses that we used to watch West Virginia do with us and kind of toy with us with that. But the imposing defense it's a fun thing, and hopefully he can continue that legacy.
Well, all you have to do is look at Alabama, LSU, Wisconsin, programs like that, and you know that it's not all about fun and gun and spreading the field, that you can win lining up and playing old-fashioned football. The
Exactly.
other part of this, Ben, as you know much better than I do, is that it's been done before at UConn. So when
Right.
Edsel did it, that was a bit of a surprise to a number of people. I'm not going to
Oh,
say a shock, but a bit of a surprise. But the blueprint's there, and that was done against, as you kind of alluded to, a better conference with West Virginia in play,
right.
on the fringe of being a national power. Pitt, Syracuse, some other programs in place there right now with the All-America Conference. I think it's there for the taking. Louisville's gone, and it's right there for you. So, hey, Ben, we appreciate the time. Ben Cantor writes for the UConn Blog on the SB Nation platform. We appreciate the time and the insight and the information, and hopefully more than 3 wins for you this fall.
Hopefully. Thanks for having me on.